Hello everyone, and welcome to another cloudy little tutorial. Today we're going to be learning how to make this Soot Sprite. Today is a super easy tutorial, and it is a great scrap yarn project. All you're going to need is a little bit of black yarn. You really won't need that much, that's why it's great for scrap yarn. You're also going to need some foam clay, a black marker, and a pair of scissors. You'll also need a hot glue gun, but I forgot to show it here. Okay, to get started, we're going to take our black yarn and just start wrapping it around our fingers just like this. There isn't really an exact amount that you need. If you've ever made pom-poms before, it's very similar, but I usually use a little bit less yarn for them than I do for pom-poms. We just want it to be pretty thick. It doesn't need to be exact. And then grab ourselves an extra piece of yarn. So you're going to take that yarn and just thread it up like that between your fingers, pull it around between the same fingers. We're going to tie it in a little knot here, pull it off our fingers, and then just tighten it up. Now I like to tie a double knot here, and then I like to take it around to the other side and tie another knot because I'm just paranoid about things coming loose. It is probably unnecessary to do another knot on the other side, but I like to make sure things are secure. So we can just trim that down pretty low. It doesn't have to be too perfect, it won't show. So I forgot to mention that if you want to be able to hang it up like this, you can leave a loop. Just before you cut them, pick any loop and put a safety pin or a locking stitch marker on it so that you know not to cut that one. Now we're going to take our scissors and we're just going to cut all the loops. So be careful not to cut the tie that you made holding everything together in the center. Other than that, just go around snipping all of the loops free so that you have a bunch of little strings instead of sets of loops. You can just go through and snip any one you missed. And remember, these don't have to be perfect. Right now, we're just making sure they're no longer loops, except for that one if you want to leave it. Now I'm going around and just trimming them up, and they don't need to all be the same size. This isn't precise like a pom-pom has to be. It actually looks better if there's a little bit of variation in length, but just snip them to even them up a little bit. I'm always a perfectionist, so I end up snipping a lot, but you know, just until it looks good. Okay, now we're going to use our foam clay to sculpt our eyes, and this does need to be white foam clay, which I don't think I mentioned earlier. You really only need a little bit. You can see here I took way too much, so I'm going to put like almost half of that back. So the way I like to make sure they're even is to make them into little balls first and compare them. But the great thing about this is they really don't need to be perfect. If they're uneven, I think it just adds a little bit of character and makes them super cute. So you can see I'm sculpting them into little cone shapes here. So in the front it'll just look like a circular round eyeball. But it's going to have a cone in the back because it'll glue onto the Soot Sprite much better that way and actually stay in place and be in the right position that we want. So you could do it a different way. This is how I do it. Now, my clay says to let these dry for 24 hours. I didn't let them dry all the way, but, you know, it still worked. I would suggest letting it dry. We're going to take our black marker and we're just going to draw a little dot on it. If you want to make them exactly even, go for it. Sometimes I make them even, sometimes I make them uneven. Just because, again, just like the eyeball size itself, I think it's really cute when they have, like, kind of uneven eyes. It gives them character for, like, the Soot Sprites specifically. But you can make it perfect if you want. That's up to you. So now we're going to take our hot glue gun. Be careful because hot glue is indeed hot. If you want to use some other type of glue, go for it. Just make sure it's safe for all the materials you're using. If you're using hot glue, be careful. So I'm just gonna put the glue on and stick it right in there. If you did leave a loop so that you can hang yours up, make sure that that loop is on top so that it'll hang in the right place. I didn't for this one, so I just put them on. I just chose a side and put them on. So we're gonna get the other one on there. And see, the cone makes it so that it really just sticks right in place where I put it. So putting that on there, and then you can see I kind of push them both down and hold them on for a sec while it dries. Position them, move them around a little. And then I have to clean up all the little threads that hot glue leaves. Some people can use hot glue and it's totally mess free. I am not one of those people. So I just cleaned it up a little bit. And that's all. It's done. Here he is. He's super cute. You can leave that little loop on top so that you can hang it, or just leave it like this. Either way, they're adorable and I love these guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and check out some other tutorials on my page.